Coach is such a classic American brand, but is it considered luxury? Hello everyone, welcome back to another mommy review where I review all things for the love of. Today I want to talk about the Coach brand. Now, Coach has been very popular and just rising popularity over the years, and I just want to go back to the question, is Coach considered luxury? Now, before I start on the question, if you like the content on this channel, it'll mean very much if you consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for considering. And for those of you who are joining me again for this handbag lover journeys and discovering all things for the love of, thank you so much for supporting this channel. And on with the video. Now, Coach has been like a staple in the fashion business, in particular leather good market, for years now, known for their high quality items and really modern design over the years. And I've honestly been having a hard time deciding which bags to pick up, given that over the last few years they've come up quite a few new bags that are just instant classics, I feel. And with that said, I think it is a very reputable brand, but is it considered luxury? I mean, I don't think it is as big as popular as Louis Vuitton or Gucci. I don't know if it's I don't think it's exactly the same status. So for this video, I want to talk a little bit about what is the definite luxury? Is Coach considered luxury? I mean, Coach is making a huge comeback in the fashion world nowadays. I think for sure you can count it as a contemporary stylish design with really good quality makes for their material. The price point for Coach, definitely you wouldn't say it's on par with Louis Vuitton or Gucci, but I guess it does go back to what is our definition of luxury. Does it luxury mean that it has to be costly? For me, I think personally, luxury is not about cost. It's about having things that you don't have to survive or to live, but something that brings a smile to your face, something that brings joy to your heart. Luxury is not necessarily a necessity, but I think it really depends on how our culture or society deem as something highly desirable. So something, I guess, let's play the game of what a luxury brand, I guess, by definition from our society's point of view, is something that's high quality, maybe some exclusivity and high price tag. So if I have those ideas in mind, let's break it down into price range, material, and craftsmanship, and let's go boil down to, is Coach considered luxury brand using some of these definitions? Now, going back, I know that Coach has been around for a while now, since 1941. It started off as a family business with a dream to start off inspired by the leather baseball glove, primarily the workmanship, the tan high quality leather, supple leather, and exquisite stitching that comes from it, and that spawned into a whole industry of leather bags for Coach. Now let's start with price ranges, right? So if you're looking at Coach bags, on average, I mean, there's a fair number of different Coach bags in terms of crossbody. There are larger totes. They come in different materials, but in general, I would say they start out around $200 up to $900 or so, just on average. I would say this is of course by no means comparable to, say, Louis Vuitton, for example, which is kind of the pinnacle of luxury, I would say, for luxury handbags, which retail for at least over $1,000, maybe $2,000 for an average bag, which on average is still at least $1,000 over a Coach bag. So price range rise, I would say, of course, Coach is not necessarily in the game of having these constant price increases and having people chase after it. And that's kind of how Louis Vuitton and some of these luxury brands create exclusivity, the price range and the limited accessibility, which I think Coach is kind of in a different ball game of their own. They're in their own box or outside the box, thinking bags doesn't have to be necessarily exclusive for it to be beautiful and something to enjoy. Now, next I want to talk about materials. There's a wide range of material that Coach use, but in general, I would say it's more their smooth napple leather, the natural leathers, pebble leathers that you would see. Of course, they also have cotton, nylon, suede, and canvas, and like various options for like lots of different budgets for everyone. On the other hand, if you're looking at some of the more higher end luxury brands like Gucci or Chanel, you're gonna find that there are like more exotic leather. There's like lizards. There's of course there's just like more regular ones like lambskin and calfskin, but like definitely more luxurious finishes. So for material wise, you'll find that Coach is more specialized in specific types of material. In particular, I would say they've been really doing an amazing job keeping up the quality of their leather. So next thing is craftsmanship. I feel like that plays such a big role. I feel when we talk about luxury, like price, exclusivity, material, craftsmanship, out of all of these different types of categories, I feel craftsmanship, in my opinion, play the largest role in me deciding whether a bag is worth it or is considered luxury or something that brings joy to my heart. I think in terms of craftsmanship, like Coach bags are generally made by a good leather like specialists. They're not like necessarily from Italy or Spain that you would see from Dior or Gucci. It's not exactly the same. They are made from Vietnam, Philippines, but Cambodia. But I don't think that speaks to the artisan themselves. I think if we don't talk about handbags, just talk about artists in general, I don't say that a French artist is a better painter than necessarily someone from Korea, for example. I'm not trying to single any particular country out, but what I'm trying to say is like an individual is an individual. We try to master our craft, and I don't think it really matters geographically where they're from, as long as they continue to master their craft. So I think that Coach quality is still amazing. The brand is much more affordable than the other brands that you would see in the higher end of what they consider quote unquote luxury for Louis Vuitton or Gucci. But I do feel that Coach product quality does stand over time of decades. I still have an old Coach bag that seems almost brand new from like back when I was in high school. So I think that Coach bags are definitely up there in terms of quality, and it's just not really recognized in the general public at large as it should be. That's to say, like a few brands are like able to stay the same way over the years in terms of quality, despite the structural changes with the management of the companies. And Coach has gone through the same changes over the years, and I think the brand has still stays relatively the same. I would say the quality maybe not as good as it was maybe 10 years ago, but like it's still trying to keep some standard. So what do you think? I guess I'll go back to the conclusion. Is Coach considered a luxury brand? Like at the end of the day, I think it boils down to what you consider luxury. Is it something that is exclusive? Is it the craftsmanship, the material? Is it the price? Or is it just simply something that brings joy to your heart? After considering all these details, and like if we go back to the standard of like what our culture and society deem as luxury, with those factors that I've just gone through, I feel like Coach is considered probably an entry level mid-range luxury, like accessible luxury. It's not necessarily like a high-end luxury or premium brand that you would see with Louis Vuitton, Hermes, or Gucci or Chanel. It's definitely not the same, but it is a great brand to start with a lot of affordable, modern, trendy silhouettes for bags that I still get really excited about. And there's lots of different types of very durable leathers that they have that are not as worried about scratching or scuffing as much. I think that these affordable bags at these accessible price points make a lot of people very loyal to the brand. So in spite of like what people think about whether it is considered a luxury brand or not, I think for me luxury is in the eyes of the beholder, and Coach for me brings joy to my heart and is considered a luxury brand. What do you think about my thoughts on is Coach a luxury brand? I would love to know. With that said, I thank you so much for joining me on this discussion about is Coach considered luxury, and I'll see you next time in another mommy review. Take care and stay safe.